In this video, I'm going to talk about how to sew lining. This particular method would be if you are going to have no sleeves or set-in sleeves. So I've started with these quarter scale slopers or patterns that you can print off of clothingpatterns101.com. And I'm basically replicating a dress I've been using for these tutorials in this tiny version. So this method would include having to sew your darts, having to sew your side seams of your bodice, and then doing the same with the lining, but keeping these shoulder seams open. Okay, this is a V-neck. Here's the two armholes. Here's the back on both sides here. This is just laid out nice and flat. In the pattern instructions, it might even have a picture that looks something like this. So I've completed both the outside lining and, the outside bodice and the lining for this bodice. To sew it together, if you don't have sleeves, it's going to be the same process as if you do have sleeves and are going to do a set-in sleeve. I'll do a different tutorial for set-in sleeves. So you're going to take your lining and you're going to take your outside bodice and you're going to put right sides together. That means these seams, okay, these nice finished seams and these finished seams need to be touching. So I'm going to flip my lining over to where I can see the raw edges of my seams and my darts, and I'm going to see the raw edges and seams of my darts on here. I'm going to start pinning around all of these edges. Now, if you do not have sleeves, you're going to have to stitch around this curve of the armhole. In this case, I do have sleeves, so I'm not going to stitch those armholes. What I am going to stitch is the back neck curve. I'm going to stitch the V-neck here, and I'm going to stitch the back neck curve. Okay, if you don't have sleeves, make sure to pin and stitch both of these U's right here for the armholes. Now, I'm not going to finish sewing this in this video. I'll have a part 2 that shows how to clip and turn this bodice. Now, I am going to make this bodice sleeveless. I have another one that I'm going to be stitching to do the set-in sleeves. So I'm going to go ahead and pin all these edges, including the U's of where the arms are. And that's called an arm's eye. And it's spelled like arm's eye, except no E for I. It's C-Y-E. So A-R-M-S, so arms, and then C-Y-E. And that is the term for armhole. Get all that pinned. All right, and I will show you the next step in a moment.